All right, welcome back everyone to the Meet Us in the Ring podcast. It's me, Mary the Heel, with my co-host Maddie, as always, and the honorary Oos is here. Phil, how are we doing?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Thank
this is
you.
it's been a long day, but we're here. We're here for it. So let's talk SummerSlam.
Well,
Let's do
thank
it.
you for coming back since you did the predictions video. It just makes sense for you to
It
be
made
here,
sense.
so we can talk about it.
No problem, guys.
And I can see Junior is already here in the chat.
Junior.
This guy
The
is
day
always
one.
on it. Like, I love Junior.
He's the day one.
Down since.
Phil's the honorary Oos member for sure. He has a T-shirt
not
and
totally.
everything.
Not totally, but I mean, y'all have seen me well enough to know that I'm always gonna be here or available whenever they need me. So
And we
Love
appreciate
him
you.
for that.
So without further ado, SummerSlam. How we feeling?
Ooh. How do you want to attack this? Because I mean, this is
You know,
it's a very up and down way.
I want to attack this with all realness, all honesty, all transparency.
Yeah.
As we all should.
Because
Yeah.
let's
As
be
we all
real. Even though we love WWE and you know we would love for any type of like what's the word I'm looking for? Any type of, you know, connection with WWE because we're content creators. I think it's also important to always be objective and
Yeah.
tell them when we don't like something.
I'll
Yeah,
say exactly what I said right before we went on the air. SummerSlam was ass.
Here's the thing. I think we all had really high expectations, and
And that's the thing. Yeah,
if you guys watched the press conference, did you guys watch it?
I did. I
So-
did. I stayed up until like 4 o'clock in the morning too. But yeah.
Yeah. So
I got no sleep.
I had to go to bed.
I wanna start off by talking about what Triple H said on the press conference, which was like, "Hey, we know that there's like a lot of things that weren't on the card, and
Oh, I did see that.
I would rather just have everybody get a lot of shine instead of everybody just get a little bit of shine." And while I understand that, I feel like there's certain things that need to be there. That Slim Jim Battle Royal did not need to be there.
Yeah.
And you guys didn't get to feel
Okay.
didn't get to feel my wrath because I wasn't here for the predictions video.
Yeah.
But-
If anything, if you really wanted to put that battle royal on the card, you should have put that on the pre-show because honestly, they don't do pre-show matches anymore.
Yeah.
They never do. They just talk for an hour. And give their predictions when they work in the company. So it's not like they don't know what happens.
I mean, maybe they don't though. Maybe they don't get told. But
but I mean,
but yeah, I
could have
mean,
put it on the pre-show and then give the one match to whatever.
I understand not doing pre-show matches anymore because number one, nobody watched them really,
No.
and number two, it made them feel not important. So I understand that, but at the same time, that Slim Jim Battle Royal did not need to be there. I don't understand the point. You didn't even win anything. Like all you get is like bragging rights. Like I don't get it.
Everybody made a joke, and it was two things. Everybody first thought it was going to be for United States Championship opportunity. That was never the case. It never was going to be that. But then somebody came out online saying, "Oh yeah, if you win this, it's going to be a year's supply of Slim Jim," which wouldn't actually shock me because I think when they did a Pizza Hut Battle Royal, they did a year worth supply of Pizza Hut to the winner, and they actually got that. So I mean, whoever won that was weird, but
yeah,
but
I mean, we'll talk more about that later. But yeah, I just wanted to address, you know, Triple H saying, yeah, we know that not everybody's on the card, and you know that just is what it is, basically. And it made me feel a type of way because obviously Rhea deserves to have a match on the second biggest pay-per-view of the year, which is what SummerSlam is supposed to be. So that to me was annoying. Like, yeah, Theory wasn't there, but he didn't really have a storyline going right now anyway. So
like, I understand where Triple H was coming from when it comes to that as well, because at the end of the day, like, he basically said that he would rather have these people get a bigger spot on a smaller stage than a small spot on somewhat of a big stage. And I do
Yeah.
kind of get that. And like, when it came down to it, we had 8 matches on the card and it went into Sunday morning. If we had 10 matches on the card, we would have been there till like 1 o'clock. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
Yeah.
And
It would have
that's just
been
not
SummerSlam 33. Or not
yeah.
SummerSlam, WrestleMania 33.
And that's just not, I mean, I always go by quality over quantity, and I understand that might not be with everybody's like, cup of tea,
Mhm.
but it's just they need to stop going into the next day with these pay-per-views. And I'm talking about all companies. I'm talking about AEW, I'm talking about WWE. Hell, maybe Impact does that too. I don't know. But we need to stop going into the next day and really focus on what matches we really do care about, and what matches could be omitted. It's not
Mhm.
any disrespect to these people. It's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Can we also
I don't
address
know.
the 4 main events?
Oh, dude,
As
half the card was the main event.
as soon as Michael Cole said that, I said, "What?
So stupid.
4? You don't even say that there's 4 main events. It's
There
so
wasn't.
pointless. There's
Yeah.
1 main event. I will give you a co-main event, but we are
Yes.
not doing this 4 main events where half the card is supposed to be main event. It doesn't make sense. They need to stop saying it. It's ridiculous."
I saw somebody say that this is the WrestleMania of the summer. Nothing's WrestleMania. Nothing's WrestleMania but WrestleMania. I don't care. Like if you throw WrestleMania around, it's not special. There's only one
Yeah.
WrestleMania. You got to do it. That's it. And 4 main events, give me a break. There's like 1. We don't know that.
Yeah. So we'll start off with the first
But,
match of the night, which was Ricochet
okay.
versus Logan Paul. Obviously, the wrong person won.
Yes.
Yeah, who was that blonde YouTuber guy? I've never seen him before.
I love that.
He been to Japan?
Like,
Has he been to Japan?
Oh,
I'm sorry. That was Ricochet's moment. That was Ricochet's time, and
Yeah.
they blew
They're
it.
gonna have a rematch at Payback.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
and that's good and
that's what it's
fine.
gonna
I
be.
mean, is this going to be an official feud for Logan Paul then? Like where it's a 3-part series?
I say this and it's done. Like I say this is a rematch that's gonna happen at Payback and it's done. I don't need to see any more of it. I thought the match was okay, personally. I thought the actual in-ring quality was okay, but they called it the most viral match in WWE history. We didn't really see much anything of a viral moment. I mean, what they did at the Rumble was more viral. What they did in the Money in the Bank ladder match, or whatever they did in that Money in the Bank pay-per-view, that was more viral. I mean, this was just a good match between 2 guys where Ricochet really helped carry Logan Paul to a good match. And Logan, whether you like him or whether you don't,
He
I'm
was
sorry,
there too.
Maddie.
Yeah, he was there too.
Whether you like him or whether you don't, he has been put in positions to succeed with guys that can carry him through a good match. And that's what Ricochet is.
100%. I just feel that they tried to do too many. They tried to do too many things, and it just didn't work. And there was several spots that were missed, and whether that was Ricochet's fault, whether that was Logan Paul's fault. I mean, it's a collaborative effort when you're in the ring, and it's unfortunate because I don't want this to reflect poorly on Ricochet, because I don't want him to go back down to being basically a jobber. Like
No,
I
that's
don't
why
want.
they use the brass knuckles, so it wouldn't.
I mean, yeah. But like I just don't want that for him. I don't want him to seem not reliable to like put on, a banger. And this by far was not a banger to me. Like I think we all hyped it up so much because of their athletic ability, but I think that ultimately ended up hurting them in a way because they tried to do so much and a lot of it didn't work. So it was an okay match. If they do a rematch, that's fine. I just hope it goes better, and I hope that Ricochet gets the win and gets the spotlight because he deserves it.
I hope WWE sees what they have in Ricochet, because he really could be a guy that WWE can put behind. And I think WWE ultimately does undervalue him. And that just shouldn't be. Ricochet is easily one of the best they got right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He's a hard worker. Our next match, Cody Rhodes.
I don't want this to be like a 30-minute review. Like this is
gonna be talk about the stairs and how that should have been a DQ.
Okay, that should have been a DQ, and I'm a Cody fan. Like that should have been a DQ.
Very weird.
And you know they always do the referee's discretion, and it's like, so basically the rules don't matter. That's what
the leeway didn't make sense there. Like
not at all.
It doesn't make sense why that wasn't a DQ. It should have been, and then Brock would have won the match. I wish they wouldn't have done that spot at all.
People contacted me after the match, knowing how much of a Cody fan I am. It's like, Phil, come on, give me a break. That should not have happened. I'm like, guys, I agree with you. What do you want me to say? Like that just should not have happened. I'm glad that Cody won, but that. And he should have won regardless. I don't care what anybody says. He was going to win, but that the stair spot was just weird.
But now there's an asterisk on it because technically he won, but there should have been a DQ. And I've said that before. I think there was, I don't remember what match it was. I think it was at WrestleMania, and it was with The Miz when that athlete or whatever came out of the crowd and hit him. That should have been a DQ right there, but it wasn't. And it was so annoying and frustrating.
Wait. That's stupid.
Was it George Kittle?
I don't know his name.
Whatever else. I think I know what you're talking about. If it involved Pat McAfee, then it was George Kittle.
It was the match. It was the match with Pat McAfee, and then the other person came out of the crowd and then hit Miz, and like the ref clearly saw it. Like it wasn't even they weren't even trying to hide it.
Yeah,
it wasn't a DQ, and I was like, "Hello, why was that not a DQ?"
Yeah, Junior, it was George Kittle. Yeah, it was another person from the NFL that he knew.
Yeah.
So,
can we also talk about Cody using Brock's own move against him?
Yeah, I loved that.
More
that
like
and Brock's shorts just ripping.
Dude, I was like, dude, you have no pants on. Like what happened?
Like, I don't even know when that happened, how it happened. I didn't see it. But all of a sudden, we're just like, his shorts are ripped.
Brock trying to win by countout, though, the entire time. I was like, what's the story here? What are you trying to do? I'm like, I know technically Brock was maybe trying to save Cody from himself, but Cody's not going to take a countout. He was going to go back in every single time. So...
Yeah. Brock's a baby face now.
Oh.
Wow.
Mary was so excited.
I will say the handshaking at the end shocked the living hell out of me.
Yeah.
That was unplanned. That was not scripted in any way, shape, or form, which was said in the press conference. So that was awesome. And there's just only one question left to ask. What does Cody do after SummerSlam? Because it has to be something big.
Filler.
Going back for the title.
Filler.
Has to be.
But we're not going after Seth because that's not the title.
No.
Yeah, he has to go back for Roman.
It's Roman. But you can't
We got a lot of time between now and WrestleMania.
You can't do that now.
No.
I know. So I don't know what he's gonna do till then, but yeah, that moment with Cody and Brock after the match, like
that was good. Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Oh, is this Brock's last match? Is he gonna retire?" I'm like, guys, relax.
I see at least 2 to 3 years at most with him.
He's scheduled to be at Payback or Fastlane or whatever I don't know.
Who knows?
It's Payback and then Fastlane. So yeah, you both tend to be correct.
But like, he's not retiring right now. Like, we can relax.
I see at least 2 to 3 years left for him.
He just showed appreciation to Cody, and that's cool that they had that moment and that it, they say it wasn't scripted and it wasn't planned. So I thought that was really cool. I really thought like during the handshake, Brock was gonna
pick him up F5.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I didn't see that happening.
And I'm like, great, we're going into month number 5 of this feud. Great.
Redo the entire trilogy.
Month number 5. I will say though that handshake is honestly very reminiscent to something when it comes to all of this. Brock Lesnar's basically like the gatekeeper of WWE. That was basically his role here. If you got respect from Brock Lesnar, you're that next guy. No doubt about it. So Cody's going to be that next guy. Whether anybody wants it or not, he'll be champion.
So do you think Brock doesn't feel that way about Roman then?
Well, they shook hands, right?
Did they?
I don't think they ever did. I know they did a tug of war with the title like years ago.
Or
that
maybe
was
they
terrible.
did, and then Brock F5'd him like as soon as he held his hand. I think that's what happened.
Maybe that could have been
Brock.
That could have been any of their 10 matches. Because let's be real,
honestly.
they've had 10 matches.
Dude,
10 terrible matches.
Brock and Roman's feud, like, or rivalry, whatever you want to call it, it's gonna be one of the most like talked about in history for WWE. It just is because it's gone on for almost a decade at this point.
You've had 10 matches. I mean, what do you want more?
Yeah.
Overall, this match was okay. I don't think it was like great.
No.
It was good. I think it was a typical Brock Lesnar match.
Yeah,
I will say though, it was the best match of the trilogy though.
Yes,
for sure.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah, agreed. They didn't have to fake an injury.
Didn't have to break your arm, huh, Cody? Good job.
And then use the arm repeatedly.
And oh yeah, and the titanium cast people. Titanium casts aren't a thing. I know. I've broken my arms before. 4 surgeries actually. But
Phil
still.
is experienced.
Titanium
so moving
casts aren't
on
real.
to the Slim Jim Battle Royal.
Yeah.
We kind of already talked. We kind of already talked about it a little bit. But yeah, I mean, when I did my predictions video for TikTok, I literally put, winner, who cares? Because we all know we all knew that this was for LA Knight to just have something. And the fact that Omos came back though, I was surprised.
I hated this.
Who invited him? Nobody invited him.
MVP invited him apparently.
First of all, they kept saying 25 men battle royal on the pre-show. I don't know if any of you guys caught that. But then when they showed the graphic, it was only 24 people. So I was like, what the hell are they doing?
Was Omos the 25th person?
Yeah, Omos was the 25th.
Okay, there you go.
That was the return. But like, but I'm like, what are they doing? Do they just not know how many people are in the battle royal? Like, are they saying 25 and it's supposed to be 24 and they're just idiots? Or is this supposed to be something happening here? I thought it could have been Nick Aldis. I thought, Randy and Bray in a meaningless battle royal would have been bad, but I mean, it could have been a return. It could have been Carlito because he was supposed to debut months ago. But nah, it's Omos.
Omos was the only return besides
technically Dakota.
Technically Dakota, but she's not back.
No one cares about.
Sorry. I know only one person though that was probably very excited about Omos being in that battle royal. Malik, shout out to you, my guy.
Of course, he was probably jumping up and down, all excited. And
this was probably like Malik's favorite SummerSlam ever. Omos return and Roman winning.
I'll give him credit, man. At least he sticks by it. Okay,
Yeah,
I never.
He sticks by his convictions.
I never could.
But yeah, I mean, and the people. So who else was in this? This was The Miz, Grayson Waller, AJ Styles, Karrion Kross,
like all the Brawling Brutes.
I'll tell you.
The Brawling Brutes, the Viking Raiders. Yeah. Why was
Apollo Crews, JD McDonough, Rick Boogs, Otis, Ivar, Eric, Nakamura, Ciampa, Grimes, Fury.
I didn't see him.
Santos, Vinci, Kaiser, Holland, Butch, Matt Riddle, Omos.
Riddle was there?
Yeah. Omos, Miz, Grayson Waller, sad days for Grayson Waller, but I mean,
Yeah,
no.
King.
King Karrion Kross, not King. He's a gesture at this point.
So
Chad Gable, thank you. Bronson Reed, sorry, Maddie. AJ Styles and Sheamus. Sheamus, not Sheamus.
Yeah,
Sheamus.
And then our final four was Sheamus, LA Knight, AJ Styles, and then Bronson Reed, right?
Bronson Reed, yeah.
I don't understand. Like, I don't understand the appeal of Bronson Reed, and I understand
I like
the girl.
But...
okay, still explain to me why, because I don't get it.
Okay, well, I followed him since his NXT days, so I mean, he was a very dominant person in NXT. And then when he got fired or released or whatever happened, when they let him go, I continued to look at him and follow his career through his New Japan days because he was in the G1. Went actually very far in the G1 climax. So I was like, I've just been a very good Bronson Reed guy because he was one of the. Okay, thanks, George. My dog just decides to jump in.
Love that.
He's just okay. Come on, George, get out of here.
Damn it, George.
I love that your dog's name is George.
His name was Boy George at first, but we didn't want to yell Boy George at like 9 o'clock in the afternoon or like 9 o'clock at night, so we just took the boy out of there.
Anyway,
I just like him. I think he's a very good he's not good on the mic. Trust me, I know he's not good on the mic. We all know this. But as an in-ring competitor, he is a very dominant type of force, and he should be getting somewhere. It's just that nobody's gravitating towards him, and it is what it is. But Grayson Waller, on the other hand, he had a little bit of a moment with the Miz in this entire thing, and I don't know if that's gonna lead to something because they're not on the same brand, so I don't think they can.
I want a feud between those two because the promo battles would be.
I was thinking they were going to be some sort of a team because they did a tag team finisher like maneuver there in the Battle Royal, and it looked pretty nice.
Awesome.
So, I mean, but they're basically the same person, so I don't know.
Miz sold it so well. It was just like, that was so cool.
He's like, wait, that's awesome, dude. Let's go. But
I like when they use the Miz like that, like when they use him to partner up with younger talent who they want to push. Because I think Miz is such a good person for that, especially in like a tag team setting. I know it's crazy to think how far Miz has come in his career, and obviously, he's not like in the main pictures anymore, but he's still there. He's still doing Miz TV, which is always going to be iconic. So
say what you want about The Miz, but The Miz has been one of the most safest workers in the entire company. He does not get injured. He only had one injury throughout the entire, 20 years that he's been in the business or whatever it is. The guy's good. The guy is very good. He may not be in the upper echelon of talent right now, but the guy's very talented.
And he has the most must-see WWE talk show of all time. So.
I mean, that's debatable with the Grayson Waller effect. Oh yeah.
True.
But
they had a good showing. A person who is still underrated to me, Chad Gable.
Yeah.
His match with Gunther.
Give me Chad Gable and Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship, and I'm telling you right now, people would get behind him. I mean, people are already behind Gable already.
Yeah.
But imagine that kind of a feud, man. It would have been so good. And I love the Alpha Academy.
Their match was good.
But
it was,
Chad Gable needs a singles run. And I think that's where they need to go.
Agreed. I think what they're trying to do with Gable Steveson is what they should have done with Chad Gable. Like actually push him as the Olympian and like all that stuff. Like we don't want Kurt 2.0, but
nobody's gonna be another Kurt Angle, and that's the thing. Like I don't want Gable Stevenson's gonna have a very hard time getting over with the fans, and it's a simple Google search if you guys don't know.
Put him behind bars, please.
He has accusations.
He's gonna have a very
very
hard time.
He got off on a technicality, so they're basically saying, "Yeah, you did it, but like technically we can't charge you." So
he's gonna have a very hard time getting over with the crowd because fans don't forget. Yeah. And you're going to have to figure that out. If I was WWE, I'd turn him heel because people are going to hate him anyway. So
didn't they?
No, they didn't.
Oh,
they're trying to book him as a babyface, but that match with Baron Corbin was so bad enough as it is. Everybody was just booing because it was terrible.
The crowd was cheering for Baron Corbin,
and that's something right there. So
which we love.
I mean,
we love
it wasn't for the right
Corbin.
Reasons, though.
I don't like Corbin personally, but
they weren't cheering because they like Corbin.
But hell, Gable, it is what it is.
We digress.
That's not what we're talking about here. Get Chad Gable.
Yes.
The opportunity he deserves.
Anyway, this Slim Jim Battle Royal was pointless. I don't understand. And congrats to LA Knight. Hopefully this means something for him moving forward.
Keep the momentum going.
And Theory was in this match. Why? I don't know, but it is what it is.
If you've seen Battle Royals, you've seen all of them.
Yeah.
But I will say that call back to the, Macho Man Slim Jim type of, commercial before the Battle Royal. That was a nice touch. Good job there.
Yeah, that was good. Sure. So moving on to
the worst match of the night. I'm sorry, but I love Shayna. I'm sorry. I love Shayna. But this is bad. This was really bad.
First of all, my boyfriend's watching. I love you, babe. I'm sorry, but Shayna Baszler is so freaking amazingly gorgeous that she looked so damn fine. That
oof, Junior said skip. Oof.
I saw a lot of people complaining about this match, and I'm like, I understand why, because WWE fans want a WWE match, not an MMA match. But like, it wasn't bad for what it was.
This was bad.
So I really don't think so.
So here's the thing.
And my mama won. So
the lead up to this match for Shayna versus Ronda, I liked the lead up. I liked the story that they were trying to tell. Yes. With Shayna always feeling that Ronda saw her as second best and just used her whatever the reasons may be. And I liked her promos when she would call out Ronda for not being good anymore, number one. Number two, getting handed everything, which is true. Like, that's not an opinion that Shayna had. It's a fact that Ronda was handed her opportunities in WWE. Like, yes, she obviously had a UFC career before that and is, an Olympic gold medalist and all those things. But she was handed those opportunities because of her name and what she brought to the table. And that just happens sometimes, unfortunately. I hate that. Like, I'm a very, work for what you earned type of person. So but this match was not it, especially if this was supposed to be Ronda's last match in WWE.
Yes,
this was not it. And they didn't even really explain the rules to the crowd. Like, you could hear it obviously on the TV, but to people who were there, they knew that it was an MMA rules match, but they didn't explain it to the crowd, what was going to be happening.
The only MMA rules that were a thing were you have to win by knockout or submission. That's it. That's it. They could have done anything that they wanted. In terms of the actual in-ring stuff. But they chose to do the actual MMA with punches and the knees and the kicks and all that kind of a thing.
Oh, that kick to Ronda was fire though.
That knee to the face by Ronda to Shayna. That was killer.
That was a good move too. I credit her for that.
But
it should have been Fight Pit for sure.
I like this comment from Junior. Should have been a Fight Pit. That would have been awesome, honestly.
Here's the thing. I think the MMA rules really hindered both of the abilities of the women here. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Ronda. We all know this. But Ronda could have done a lot more than that.
I agreed.
Shayna, we all know how good Shayna is. What did we get?
Nah,
I'm sorry, but it didn't.
We got this weird, wifey. Awkward MMA match.
It didn't really do much for any of them.
But Shayna won.
She won, but what good is that if WWE won't see what they have in her. I don't want her to go back down. Because if she goes back down to where she was, what was the point of all of this?
I mean, she just put Ronda Rousey to sleep, so if they don't do something with her, then what the hell was the point in that?
I don't trust WWE to continue the momentum for her. That's all I'm saying.
I feel like Triple H should be higher on her, considering of how much he loved her in NXT. Yes. So I don't know what he's doing.
And I agree with that.
Maybe this is the build back up for her. You know?
Knock on wood, she looked amazing. She won
that match. So. That match just
Rhea needs
good,
opponents.
Though.
Why can't we have Rhea and Chicago?
Have Shayna dethrone Rhea.
Because Shayna's on SmackDown, isn't she?
Oh, no.
No, Shayna's on Raw.
She's on Raw.
She is?
Yeah.
Her and Ronda are on Raw?
Yeah.
Oh.
They were on Raw the whole time in the build.
God damn it, Mary. Keep up.
For some reason, I thought they were on SmackDown.
They're on Raw the whole time in the build.
To be fair, I don't watch the shows live because I don't have regular TV. So, like, I just forget who's on what roster.
That was the perfect time to do the NXT music for Shayna Baszler, too, and they did not do that, so...
This is definitely not Ronda's first clean loss. He's lost clean a few times.
Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
One time. Not one time out of the two, but, you know.
Yeah, one time out of the two, and then Charlotte did not win clean. Actually.
Hey, I watch Raw. I just don't watch it on Mondays, okay?
WatchWrestling.com, everybody, if you don't have cable TV.
God dang it, you're
gonna get us... Well, we're not monetized.
You're getting
anyway,
us kicked off.
Monetized.
Kicked off the internet.
You're gonna get us canceled.
I do not condone the illegal actions of what Maddie is trying to promote.
Junior knows, right? Junior will tell you.
Even though I might use it from time to time. What?
Well, we all know that Shayna Baszler was gonna win this match because this was Ronda's goodbye, supposedly. So we'll see where we go from here. Hopefully they do something with Shayna and she can have more matches and really, really get back to where we know that she can be. So
I love how Dana contacted Ronda Rousey while she was still with WWE. So that's technically contact tampering, but you know, they're technically within WWE.
I mean, yeah, they're all under they're under the same umbrella at this point, and that's why they do this whole 4 main event things, because that's what UFC does. They'll be like, there's 3 main events.
Is that the reason why they did that? Because UFC does that too?
So if you watch UFC, they do that shit all the time where they say, oh, we have 2 main events, we have 3 main events, and like that's probably why, because now they're
I don't watch UFC, so I mean
Backlash, the entire card is gonna be the main event.
Yeah.
No, you mean Payback.
Oh yeah, whatever. Yeah. Same shit, different toilet. I don't care.
Like here's the thing.
Well, even Triple H said it. Triple H accidentally said Backlash instead of Payback.
Backlash is basically WrestleMania rematches. I feel like Payback's going to be the same thing for SummerSlam. It's
probably.
Yeah, probably.
Except for what I'm going to talk to you guys about later during that main event, because people are so pissed off, and I called it from like before the show even started.
Well, the next match we had was the IC title match with Gunther and Drew McIntyre, and I know that y'all said this was contender for match of the night, but I don't think it was.
I don't think so.
It could have been, but it didn't go into the third gear like I hoped it would have been.
I got bored.
Well, I think that Gunther doesn't have the same chemistry with Drew that he has with Sheamus. Like their chemistry is just on a different level.
That's fair.
They tried to recapture that magic with Drew, and it just didn't work.
No.
Yeah, we put a lot of hype into this match during our predictions and preview, and you know, when it came to Gunther and Drew, it really could have been if they were able to get to the gear that they should have. They got to second, it just didn't shift into third, and I don't know why. That was a clean finish though. It was a clean finish, and I don't think that there's any room for a rematch. I don't.
No. I'm not interested in the rematch.
But Gunther retaining was the right call.
Yeah, agreed. If they would have given Drew the title, I feel like a lot of people would have been upset. And but Gunther's gonna surpass the Honky Tonk Man's record. He only needs 31 more days at this point.
21 days today. Yeah.
So 100% he's gonna go past that. that just is what it is. And I'm okay with that. What I'm not okay with, though, is how he passed Ray's time in the Royal Rumble.
For the
That
Rumble?
still bothers me.
That performance was incredible, though. And somebody's going to have to break it eventually.
No, I love Ray. No one should have passed it. Rey Mysterio is my guy. But yeah, I'm fine with Gunther being that top spot for the IC title because I feel like he's earned it at this point. He's done so many amazing things with this title. He's had good feuds. He has always been a fighting champion. So and I was not on board with him when he first came to WWE. I was not on board at all. No.
You didn't see any of his work, or you just weren't a fan?
I knew nothing of him before he came onto the main roster. So, but he grew on me, and I appreciate him. So,
what about you, Maddie? Did you know Gunther before anything of like the main roster, or?
Oh yeah, NXT UK. Of course, he beat Pete Dunne.
Just asking a question.
He beat Pete Dunne to win the title.
Yeah.
And then Imperium did appear like kind of briefly in NXT 2.0.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always loved Gunther. I knew he was going to be a star in the main roster. And he deserves to be because he's one of the best in the world.
So calculating everything, Payback will happen and he'll be like 2 or 3 days shy of the record. So he's just got to get through Payback, and then that next Monday on Raw, not the Monday after Payback, but the next Monday, he'll break the record. So
yeah,
we'll see him go through the weeks to Payback. Whoever he does face at Payback, hopefully he wins there. Because if you have him lose 2 days shy of the record, I will be...
That's what I thought they were going to do to Bianca. So I'm glad they didn't.
But yeah.
So do you guys want to answer this question? Does Drew go heel from here?
He probably will.
He needs it.
Yeah.
He desperately needs it.
I don't know. I think they like him too much as a face, and I think the crowd typically likes him as a face. I know a lot of people like us want him to go heel, but honestly, I don't know if I believe him as a heel. Maybe that's just because I haven't seen his heel work. I know he has that in the past, so I don't know. But right now, I just can't see it.
You can't judge his heel work from 2010 because trust me, that wasn't that wasn't the Drew McIntyre we know nowadays. And I really don't judge his heel work from when he was teaming with Ziggler either, even though I do believe the Claymore zigzag combination was really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I think he's a believable heel. They just got to really get behind him in order to do that. And one way to get behind him in order to do that is to attack somebody that is really beloved. What would you guys think of a Cody Rhodes Drew McIntyre deal?
Oh, yeah, that'd be good filler for before WrestleMania. But that's what it's going to be, is filler.
It also depends, though, on if Drew McIntyre is ever a champion or whatever, and like Cody, attacks somebody or whatever. I don't know, but could be something.
I don't know.
It just depends.
I really don't know where Cody goes. I mean, until he can go back to Roman, especially because Cody's on Raw and then Roman's on SmackDown. So that needs to be figured out first. And I
Rumble or Chamber. I'm sorry, but Rumble or Chamber.
Oh Lord! But
listen, I'm not even trying to like put Cody over like that. It is legitimately the only two options.
Sure, Phil.
It's the only two options left.
I know. I'm kidding. Yeah. But overall, this match again was okay. Like, that just seems to be the trend. I know that Triple H wanted to give people longer so that they could shine, but if some people don't know what to do with that longer time, then it's just gonna be what it is. Like, I literally started playing with my brother's dog, like, during this match because I was like,
I started falling asleep.
This match was like 14 minutes. Which is terrible. This match was like 14 minutes.
It's not even that long. It's not even that long, and I was still like, eh.
The shortest match up until the point was the MMA rules. That was the shortest match up until the point.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that match was short.
Well, yeah, I was glad it was short.
I don't like this Baszler disrespect.
No,
I like
it's
Baszler,
because
but
of
it was
Ronda.
not good.
That's mother.
All right. Well, moving
Not
on
Ronda.
Match of the night
to
to me. I love this.
I don't want to talk about it.
I don't even know if I have a match of the night, to be honest. Like I
I
don't
guess
even
mine
think I
would
have
be
one.
this.
Like if I had to pick one,
Maybe the women's match.
I don't know. I mean, I if I had to pick one, I would probably pick Roman versus Jay just for the story aspect. Like, but
No.
that's about it, you know. So
Finn
anyway,
should have won.
Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. And no, I mean, I predicted that Seth was going to retain, and I'm glad he did. I don't think he should have lost the title this early. It would have been cool if Finn would have won, but then, you know, there's that fear of Damian cashing in on him. And then, but it would have been nice to see like 3 titles and Money in the Bank. Like that would have just solidified the Judgment Day as the most dominant faction in WWE right now.
I don't know what they have against Finn Balor that they just keep having him lose. Like,
dude. And Triple H spoke so highly of him during the press conference too.
Yeah.
But it's like, but the proof is in the pudding, my guy.
I gotta get my food out of the oven one sec.
I don't know what happened, man. Because, you know, this match was, honestly, to me, I think this was the best in-ring, you know, action that we had all throughout the night. And Finn Balor, he was fantastic in there. Seth Rollins, we all know what he can do in that ring. This was easily, to me, the best match that these two have ever had together.
Mm-hmm.
And the near falls were absolutely perfection. The ending, I loved the ending. I know a lot of people were very, you know, up and down with it. But you can paint it in 2 ways. Damian Priest tried to help Finn Balor, but ultimately failed in the end. Or Damian Priest cost Finn Balor the match on purpose because he wants to be the one to win the World Heavyweight Championship. So there's a lot of stuff that can go with that. I am predicting a cash-in tomorrow. I am. I'm predicting a cash-in tomorrow, and something's going to happen when it comes to that. And that's when we will see either the emergence of JD when somebody gets kicked out, or Finn Balor costing Damian Priest to cash in, and that's when I think JD is going to be ultimately involved in Judgment Day tomorrow, regardless. So that's where I think
I like how JD was in the Slim Jim Battle Royal and just got tossed out by Omos.
Yeah, no, he hasn't shown up for weeks up until this Battle Royal. So I mean, there's a reason why he came back, though. There's a reason why he is back, and I think he'll be involved on Monday for this. But I thought it was the best match of the night by far.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the best in-ring match. I just still don't think that any of the matches were great, and it hurts to say because Seth Rollins and Finn Balor are both really good, and they're both extremely talented. And Seth, you know, is one of my favorites. He has been since the Shield. Like he was always my favorite Shield member, and I've loved him ever since then. So it's hard for me to like say that his match wasn't great because he always puts on a good performance. I just think it could have been more, and you know, I don't know exactly what it is I'm expecting, but I guess I'm just always expecting more, and then that's probably my own fault, and then I disappoint myself, you know.
That's the thing, and I'm not trying to, you know, put a damper on anybody when it comes to like, oh yeah, this match is going to be great, and then when it's not so great, then we just get disappointed in the end. Me personally, I don't give myself any high expectations heading into pay-per-views. I don't, because if I do, I'm going to get disappointed in the end. And I don't want to do that. I am a critic because I do a podcast outside of this. And obviously when I'm here with you guys, we talk about it. But when it comes to, you know, watching the show, I watch it as a fan. And I just want to really indulge myself into the in-ring action. Because that's what we all really should be doing. I mean, we're all critics at the end of the day, but we're fans at the core.
Yeah, I really need to get better at like not setting my expectations high.
But hey, you know what? That happens with everybody. So
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to, point it to you or basically
No, I
anybody.
know.
It's just, I just usually don't put myself in that kind of a situation because if I do, it can get hurt.
Smart.
Um,
Yeah, but I had
yeah.
Seth retaining, and I'm glad he did. Hopefully, there's new things coming for Finn soon. I know Maddie wanted Finn to win because you're like a Finn girl for life, I feel.
I don't understand why they're having him lose 3 times. Like, just have him face someone else at this point.
Mr. Fergal Devitt should have, been respected more in that finish. I'm just saying right now. Yes, 100%. And I am using government names now. So
apparently, geez. I love like when I'm watching wrestling. I love using like their full name when I'm like when they're doing something. When they're like doing something sketchy, or like I'll be like Matthew, like when I'm talking about Riddle, or like or with Randy, I'll say Randall. Be like, Randall, can you not?
Randall Keith Thornton. Jesus.
Yeah, it's just so good.
You know what took me for the longest time? I started watching wrestling in 2010. Keep that in mind. And I didn't realize that RKO were his initials until like maybe 2-3 years down the line of me watching the company. I was like, wait, that's actually kind of sick. I'm like, wait, when did that happen? He's like, that was always the case, though. What are you talking about? It's like, sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah. All right. Moving on to the second women's match of the night.
I know we're going to have disagreements on this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry in advance.
All right, let me strap in for this really quick. Maddie, do you want to start?
I was hurt.
Somebody start, because I don't know.
First of all, I just want to say that regardless, Bianca won that triple threat. She beat Charlotte and Asuka while on a bad leg, and I love Io. I'm happy for Io. I'm glad that if anybody, it was Io. I don't think Bianca should have been cashed in on. Therefore, I don't think she should have won the title. I've kind of found it a little like disrespectful in a way. Like after everything she's done, you're just gonna do her dirty like that. But she didn't look,
in a row, right?
She didn't look
2
weak.
years in a row.
Hold on. She didn't look weak at all because of what happened. So I think overall I was okay with it. But it definitely shouldn't have been Bianca. I think Charlotte should have won the match, and then have Io cash in on her because nobody cares about Charlotte.
But everybody has cashed in on Charlotte, pretty much. Almost every single cash in has been on Charlotte, and I think they're like, all right, we won't do that to her for one. Okay, so
another
for me,
token one.
Yeah, for me for this match, again, I don't think it was great. It should have been better with Asuka, Bianca, and Charlotte Flair in this match. And maybe I think it was the same thing as Ricochet and Logan Paul. I think they were trying to do way too many like new things to try to up the ante, and I think those things just didn't work. And as far as Bianca with her leg injury, Maddie, come on, she kept switching which leg was hurt.
Did she?
Yeah.
I didn't notice that.
When she fell off the stairs, she was holding her right leg.
She still ate. She still sold the fuck out of that. I don't care. She still ate.
And then when she came back into the ring, it was her left leg. And then she just like kept. I don't know if she like kept forgetting which one was supposed to be hurt, but
I didn't notice that at all.
She limped on one leg for one part of her injury, and then she was limping on the other one. And I was like, okay, what one hurt? Like,
don't y'all be ripping on my girl when Miss Charlotte Flair was out there botching her ass off. Like,
listen, Charlotte Flair didn't do well either.
But when you're supposed to be faking an injury, you need to know which one is supposed to be.
I honestly didn't think it was fake at first, because when she screamed bloody murder, I was like, holy shit, that was bad.
That's her.
I know. I was like, oh shit, Bianca's hurt for real. And then when she got back in the ring, I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
It's not real. Then she switched legs. But so that was, that was a little bit of a misstep, but like everybody makes mistakes. People have done that all throughout history of grabbing the wrong leg for their injury. So
that DDT though, Charlotte did not sell that DDT at all by Asuka. She stood on her hands. She stood on her hands, and then she like contorted her back. I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
well, and then the double natural selection didn't look good.
No.
Like, and I don't know if that was because of the camera angle. Like, I don't know. And then Bianca didn't catch Charlotte on the outside.
Yeah, I saw that.
Okay, I'm actually very glad that we're. I'm glad that we're actually all on the same page. I thought one of you guys was actually gonna love this match to pieces, and then I was like, oh boy.
But I didn't love it.
The two matches that the fans did not really care too much about, of the 59,000. By the way, guys, it was not 59,000. Like, this was a very quiet crowd for this match. Very quiet.
It's because they're winning.
Obviously the MMA rules, nobody cared, so very quiet.
Super unfortunate. Honestly, no offense to Detroit people, y'all were not it for
y'all sucked.
pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I hope we
I know that Malik was there, Weezy Blonde was there, like so many of our content creator friends were there.
I knew a ton of people that were there. Ton of people.
But like I'm sorry, y'all. That crowd was not it. At least that's how it sounded on TV.
Yeah, they were boring.
And like I was talking to my guy Jay, who was at the event, and he's like, bro, I'm trying to ask you, like, what were you guys listening to, like, on your televisions? Because I was there live in the crowd, which I knew he was, and he's like, people were jumping up and down for most of the matches. I'm like, it didn't come off that way on TV. No. It didn't.
And maybe that's because the front just they weren't live.
It did not come off like that on TV. And listen, I love Io Sky, so I was very happy about her winning the championship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But doing it to Bianca, I think for the second year in a row, I think, right? Because she
beat Becky clean last year.
Okay, she beat Becky clean last year. Then okay, maybe it was just 2 times to Bianca at SummerSlam, because didn't she lose to Becky in like 26 seconds, and then this?
Yeah, 27.
So
26, 27 seconds.
So yeah,
screw you, Becky.
Yeah. When the match was over. Yeah, when the match was over, I was like, all right, is this the time? And then Io's music hit. I was like, yes!
But why on Bianca?
Yes.
Like,
a lot of people that I've talked to is like, oh my god, I'm so thankful for Io Sky for salvaging that terrible ass match. I'm like, guys, first of all, I love Io Sky, and I thought it was kind of like a salvaging type of moment too. But terrible ass match. They just didn't really have much in-ring chemistry with each other, which is kind of odd considering they're the 3 best women in that division. So I don't know what happened. I mean, we all know we have bad nights, but I don't know. This should have been a lot better.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I love the full circle moment for Io with re-debuting last year at SummerSlam and then this year winning the title. Like that is such a cool thing for her career, and that'll always be known in history, and I think that's really cool for her.
Michael Cole, from the world of stardom to being world champion. That was a cool ass line, and I was like, thank you, Cole, thank you for acknowledging that. From being on top of the world, that's it.
So overall, I wasn't blown away by this match. Obviously, these 3 can put on way better matches. They have in the past.
Was 20 minutes.
The longest SummerSlam women's match in history.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, do you guys think that it's going to be Bianca and Charlotte at Mania?
I do.
It better be with Bianca winning, of course.
I do. I think somehow Charlotte's going to get this championship, and
don't say that though.
It'll be Bianca. We're gonna have this for a championship, guys. I'm sorry. I know it doesn't need a championship, but I think it's gonna be for a title, and Bianca's gonna win the title by beating the last 4 horsewomen.
And that'll be WrestleMania win number 4, as she should, Queen.
So. And I think this ruined Charlotte's SummerSlam record, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it did.
It should.
It should.
But knowing WWE, since she didn't get pinned, she's going to be like, oh, well, technically I didn't get pinned, so I'm still undefeated.
Yeah, she's going to go on about it and whatever.
But it's just like Roman, I didn't lose. I didn't get pinned, so I didn't lose the tag team match, which is not, that's not true. So, you lost, honey. Get used to it.
Speaking of Roman, our final match of the night, the actual main event.
The 5-minute entrance, by the way, of Roman Reigns.
The undisputed WWE Universal title, Roman Reigns versus his cousin, Jey Uso, in a tribal combat match. How are we feeling?
Boring.
I like the match overall, but they broke their rules when it came to tribal combat. Nobody from the family was supposed to interfere, and we had 2 people from the family interfere.
Really? Was that part of the rules?
WWE breaks their rules, as always. Yeah.
They always breaking their own rules.
That was a part of the video package or whatever.
Mm.
But that's exactly it. Exactly it. They always break their own rules. I love Paul Heyman crying throughout the entire match. I thought that was hysterically hilarious.
That's your cousin.
He was like an AI.
He loves you.
Shit like over and over again. Like it was so funny.
Jay's like, pick up the other half of the table. He's like, no, I will not.
That was
pick
so
up the
funny.
Table.
Yeah, that was really funny. I was not expecting the Jimmy heel turn, if that's what you want to call it.
That was so stupid.
I called it. I don't know how I called it, but I did.
I hate it so much.
We're just going back in time.
Here's what I thought about it all. Because I was like, we saw Solo and Jay fight on a random episode of SmackDown this past Friday. And I was like, I thought that was going to be the main event of Payback. You know, that's what I had. That's what I had as the main event of Payback. Not Roman, because Roman's going to be gone for 2 months. Jay versus Solo. That's what I had. And then all of a sudden, when Bleacher Report or Sportskeeda or whatever said, yeah, it's going to be Jay versus Solo tonight. I'm like, what? You're doing this now? Okay. Apparently. I was like, I guess it only makes sense to have Jimmy turn on Jay. And I said that in my tweet. And I was like, holy shit, I got it right. Now, I'm not happy about it. I want to make this clear. I'm not happy about it. I don't think this should have happened. But I just saw it coming. But Roman was going to retain. If anybody had Jay, I'm sorry. It was just not going to happen. And Roman's going to be gone for 2 more months.
Yep. Will he show up at Payback? Who knows?
Don't know. Don't care.
He's not scheduled for Payback and Fastlane. And apparently not Survivor Series. But he's going to have to show up at Survivor Series.
The fact that he hadn't had a single title match since WrestleMania, blows my mind. But yeah, for the undisputed WWE Universal title, he had not had a match since WrestleMania.
Since Cody.
That is ridiculous to me, and
shouldn't be champion.
He should have to if you don't have a match in a certain amount of time, you should have to relinquish
What
your
happens
title.
to 30 days?
Well, but technically he could, because it's not like he was injured or anything. It's just that he didn't. Because
what happened to the 30-day rule?
But if the 30-day rule is if you can't, not if you won't. So it's a caveat.
Bullshit. I'm sorry for the language. Yes.
It's the wording, I'm telling you. But yeah, this match was real slow because it was a Roman match. Roman matches are so slow. Oh my gosh. It was like 40 minutes.
It's a lot of actually, you're very close. It's 36.
Am I? Yeah.
You're very close. 36. It was 36 minutes,
Almost a 40-minute match, and it was so slow, and then Solo coming out, and then Jimmy coming out, and just a whole bunch of shenanigans, and then Jay crying at the end. It's just damn it. I mean, I knew that it wasn't going to happen, but you just always have that little glimmer of hope that you'll be surprised.
People fell for Cena. A lot of people fell for Cena. People outside of my circle of Wrestle Talk really believed that it was going to be Sammy. It's not going to happen.
I don't know why.
What? Why are people saying that? It's a stupid idea.
That was people out of my circle of Wrestle Talk. Yeah. That wasn't anybody that I know. Yeah. So and then obviously everybody really thought it was going to be Cody, but I was the most heartbroken of them all. I cried for about 2 days. Not really, but I wanted to. But When's it gonna happen, man? Like, I'm praying for 40.
Yeah.
I'm praying for 40. But
we'll see. Well,
just
I
good.
wanted to
It was a
I
good
wanted to
storytelling.
answer a question really quick. Eric asked, "Who do you think should induct all 4 horsemen in the Hall of Fame?" And I don't know. I don't know if they meant horsemen or horsewomen, but if you're meaning the horsewomen, then I think it should be Lita and Trish as like.
Because I think the horsemen are already in there.
Yeah. So the 4 horsewomen. If someone was going to induct them, I think it should be Trish and Lita. I think that would be really cool. If not, then I don't know. I think Stephanie McMahon, because she is the queen of WWE. You know what I mean? Like, she's the actual queen. Like,
yeah.
So, and I think she's done so much for the women's division. I wish she was still doing stuff for the women's division right now, but we know how everything kind of fell apart. So, if the 4 horsewomen get inducted all together, I don't really think they would, but if they did, then I think those are 2 viable options.
If I know this is not the case, but if all of their fathers were a part of the wrestling business, like, I mean, I know Charlotte Flair and, like, all that kind of a thing, but if all 4 fathers were actually like a part of the wrestling business, have their dads do it, I think that would have been cool. But
that would have been funny.
Honestly, I think Stephanie would make Stephanie would make the most sense there, because I mean, she brought them in to the main roster. If everybody remembers, she brought in 3, but because Bayley had to do whatever she had to do in NXT, but Stephanie brought them in. What better way than to put them in the Hall of Fame?
I think that was a good way to end that. End on a positive note.
There you go. Yeah, we'll put on a positive note.
We kind of shit on SummerSlam this whole time, but we'll end on that positive note. So thank you, Phil, so much for
Jimmy
being
versus
here
Jay
once
payback,
again.
yes, Junior.
Thank you so much for being here, Phil. We appreciate you as always, the honorary ooze. Make sure to follow us all on TikTok and Instagram. My TikTok is Mary the Heel, and my Instagram is Mary the Cause Founder. I'll let everyone plug their socials, and then we'll get out of here.
As you guys know, it's at Madi and IZ Persephone on TikTok. You can find all my social media links in the link tree in my TikTok bio. And yeah, thanks for coming, guys. Appreciate it.
Phil here, at Philema_ on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. I don't ever use Threads anymore, but that's my own fault, because if I delete my Threads account, I have to delete my Instagram account, and I don't want to do that. That was a terrible choice on me. Like, you legitimately can't get rid of your Threads account unless you delete your Instagram. So that's not gonna happen.
That's weird.
But follow me over on there. I know SummerSlam was a very up and down show for everybody, but hopefully, without the next few weeks, because I believe we got 4 more weeks until the next show, which is Payback. So hopefully within the next 4 weeks, we get more story, and we'll get an explanation as to why Jimmy attacked Jay. So hopefully we get that. Hopefully we get to see where Cody goes next, and just overall get a better understanding as to what happened on WWE programming last night. So follow me on all socials. Go subscribe to the channel if you haven't already for this and for my OTB podcast. We'll do a Monday Night Raw review tomorrow, and then we'll talk SummerSlam on Tuesday right after NXT. So stay tuned for that, and love you guys. Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a like and a comment. Follow us on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And we will see you guys next Sunday.